Welcome to the Super Expander Podcast. My name is Corrine Phelps, your host. I'm a business and growth coach, money mindset expert, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. My journey has taken me all over, from working in finance to owning a boutique fitness studio. I found myself burnt out, miserable, and questioning everything. Saying things to myself like, there's got to be more to life than this. Refusing to settle for a mediocre existence, I went all in, learning how to harness untapped potential and rewire the subconscious mind to create an extraordinary life. The last 10 years have been a crash course in self-love, building a business, creating community, building wealth, and doing what it takes to just freaking go for it. My mission is to help you align to your purpose, rewire your subconscious to support your big dreams and vision, and create a life that you're absolutely obsessed with. So sit back, tune in, and prepare to expand. Hello, super expanders. How are you doing today? Oh, my voice is like a little scratchy. You'll have to bear with me today. So I just got back from a walk with my dog, and on my walk, I was really thinking about what it was that I wanted to talk with you about today. And it came to me that the idea of failure as feedback is really an important lesson, an important message, one that has really served me in connecting deeper with my purpose, my mission, with my talents and gifts. And I feel like the more you can start to step into this and see this and embody this, it will help serve you in your life, in your business. So hear me out. I think that the problem with success and failure and the way that we view them is there's this huge dichotomy that we view success and failure as like so binary that it's this absolute black and white with no gray areas. And it becomes almost like the concept of like heaven and hell, right? Everyone wants to have one of them, but not the other, right? And part of the problem when we see things as completely black and white, there really leaves no room for learning, for growth, for grace, for compassion. And I think that the act of not succeeding at something or perceived success is really useful information. And as I look back over multiple different times that I have not succeeded at something, we could call them failures. It's been really, really useful information that I have used to get me closer to my life goals, to get me closer to my business goals. And really inside of the way that I work with my clients and the conversations we have around successes and failures is truly just data. It's feedback to adjust, to shine light on certain areas of our life, of our talents, our gifts, the way that we feel. And the great thing that I've realized is that sometimes things that I'm not so good at are illuminated in a failure. And therefore, I don't need to allow them as part of my path or like have them as a part of my path. And it's information that once you start to look at this, that the act of failing at certain things has given such information as to where my true happiness is, where it lies, where my true gifts and talents can be channeled and focused. Additionally, failing at something doesn't always mean that it's not in your zone of genius, in your talents, or even meant for your path. It might just mean that there are some adjustments. It also proves how hard are you willing to work for something? How much do you really want it? Great things can take a while to get right. But if you give up because you consider something a failure, then, well, that is what I would consider the true failure. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And I love that because the just that outlook is exactly what we need to bring into our lives as we try new things, as we work to create just true excellence and greatness inside of our lives. I mean, really, think about it. If Thomas Edison had given up after his first attempt, we might still be sitting in the dark, right? So as I was on my walk, I really thought about that statement, the statement, there is no failure, only feedback. And I really believe that that statement has saved me from so much self-recrimination, low self-esteem. It has allowed for space to really, truly learn from experiences and realizing that failure isn't the end of the world. It is simply an invitation for reflection, for refinement. And as you start to realize these big layers of stress literally just melt away. And there have been times, so many times, that I've wanted something so badly and it hasn't gone as planned. And have gotten really, really strong feedback on how it is that I could adjust, refine, perfect. And there's always been a massive learning experience. And ironically, that learning experience has always led me to something greater, something bigger, something better than I could have ever imagined. The lessons that I have learned when something hasn't worked out have built so much resilience, so much wisdom inside of my life. And I think really truly has led me to a place where when I set out to do something, I'm much more likely to succeed. I have a question for you. Have you joined the Super Expander free mentorship community? If not, what are you waiting for? Stop what you're doing right now and text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. Text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. I send out weekly tips and inspiration to help you grow your business, to step into your wealthiest, most highest self, to harness your full potential and live an exceptional and extraordinary life. And the best part is, it's really me sending those messages. So text me, say hello, and send me your questions. So I want to tell you a story about wasn't my first business, but it definitely was the first real big business endeavor that I took on. And how many years ago now? About 12 years ago, I opened a brick and mortar Pilates studio with a business partner. And I really was opening this place, investing in this place from a place of passion and really a desire to create financial freedom in my life while impacting the people who were patrons of the studio, the people that I was sharing Pilates, nutrition, fitness, like letting them step into confidence inside of their life, inside of their body. And while I had a fair amount of business experience under my belt at this point, but it was all in real estate and in finance. So this was a whole new endeavor. As it pertained to opening a brick and mortar business, I had no idea what any of this really entailed. And I jumped headfirst into a partnership, and I really did not do my due diligence. But I knew, like, my intuition, my gut was like, yes, do this thing. You're so excited. You're so passionate. It's all going to work out. And fast forward 2 years later, while the business was thriving, the business partnership was not. And I literally had to walk away from this partnership. And I sold my interest in the business back to my partner because it was killing me. It was literally killing me. It was so toxic. The relationship was awful. I could not work under those conditions anymore. And I remember feeling like I just wanted to put my tail between my legs and go home and essentially wallow in my sorrow. But that's not what I did. I took a step back and I really had to assess what it was that happened inside of that relationship. What did I need to take ownership of? And how could I continue pursuing my dream of impacting people, supporting them, of creating financial freedom in my life for myself, for my daughter? How could I stay true to my purpose, my mission, and passion, but take what was really truly perceived as a failure? Because I lost money, I lost time, I lost clients. There was a lot of loss that happened in this that I could have seen as like just literally utter failure. But I took this opportunity to truly see the feedback and how I could, in my next step, show up better, stronger, and not make the same mistakes. And I let that idea of failure is just feedback really be my North Star, my guiding light, because really, you do better when you know better. So I'm here to tell you that all of your past perceived failures were not failures. Absolutely were not failures. As long as you look at each situation in your life, in your relationships, in your businesses as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to adjust, to know better so that the next time that you do better. Life truly is about the lesson. It's about individual experiences. It's about preparing for the next test that gets thrown at us. Listening to this podcast is truly preparing you for your next test. Everything that happens, I believe, to my core, truly happens for a reason, as long as we allow each experience to inform the next. Your goal should literally be to get feedback from every situation and incorporate as much of that feedback into your future actions as possible. So as I was on my walk, I wanted to really provide you with a tool to assess and analyze feedback so that you can apply it into your next action steps. So the next time you're in a situation that you feel could be perceived as a failure, I want you to ask yourself this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this situation really? And after you get the answer to that one, then ask yourself, how important will this outcome be 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 6 years from now? What lesson can you take from this? What will you do different next time? What positives can you take from this situation to apply it to the next one? And lastly, how can I improve upon this? So these questions have been powerful questions that I have asked myself. They've been powerful guides for the clients that I serve and that I coach. And I wanted to share them with you because failure is truly feedback. And when you know better, you do better. Have the most amazing day, Super Expanders. I hope that these questions and this podcast serves you in reaching excellence in your life and in your business. If you like what you heard, stop, drop, and leave a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And as always, sharing is caring, so snap a pic and share this episode with another Super Expander.